It's Ron Reader digs the universe. I'm Ron Reader, and this is Ron Reader Digs the Universe, and tonight, the notorious Dr. Fauci. A guy I grew up with in Kingwood ended up having his own right-wing AM radio talk show right here in Houston. He and his brother and I played Little League Baseball together back in the 70s. Good guys, both of them, and I'm happy that Chris X, as he calls himself on air, has a successful show. Check it out, both 700 and 1540 AM KSEV, Monday through Thursday, drive time 4 to 6, if you can listen to conservatives unmediated by the mainstream press without having your blood pressure rising. But this isn't about Chris X, it's about his younger brother, whom we'll call Michael X. During the pandemic, Mike and I once argued about masking in the comment thread for a post Chris had made on Facebook. Mike was pushing a sort of libertarian individual freedom point of view. If you want to wear a mask to protect yourself, fine, he told me, but it's a violation of my rights to force me to wear one if I don't want to. I tried to explain how that's not how the science works, how masking doesn't really provide a lot of protection for the individual wearing it, but it does an excellent job of blocking transmission to everybody else if you have COVID and don't realize it. Masking works if, and only if, everybody's doing it. So weigh your individual right not to wear a mask against everybody else's right not to breathe your filthy COVID germs. And he seemed not to understand. He just kept talking about his rights, totally ignoring what I had said about how these things work. It was frustrating. From my end, it looked like he was no longer inhabiting this reality. Indeed, on the issue of COVID, I would say that all of MAGA no longer inhabits this reality, and we got our noses rubbed in it big time last week when Rand Paul's Senate Homeland Security Committee grilled former NIH bigwig Dr. Anthony Fauci for hours over his role in the pandemic crisis. Fauci, fearing a perjury trap, correctly invoked his Fifth Amendment right not to incriminate himself over 100 times. This, in turn, outraged Republicans, and Senator Paul has sent a recommendation to the Department of Justice to prosecute Fauci for contempt of Congress. We'll see how far that goes, but Fauci was definitely right to play it this way. That's because MAGA hates his guts, and it's all based on their psycho-COVID conspiracy theories. Wuhan lab leak of a bioweapon, mind-controlling chips in vaccines, lockdowns to destroy capitalism, that sort of thing. It's nuts. Salon.com's Amanda Marcotte says it's just nostalgia for the pandemic, when they were really PO'd about COVID, and maybe that's true, but the bottom line here is that MAGA put Fauci's face on the government's response to a disease they still think is fake. Right or wrong about that? Wrong. They've wanted his head for years. And these hearings were clearly about trying to make Fauci bleed. As if the 500,000 deaths from Republican COVID mismanagement hadn't already left enough blood on their hands. I'm Ron Reader, and this has been Ron Reader Digs the Universe. Join me, Ron Reader, again next week for another episode of Ron Reader Digs the Universe.